Hello, and welcome back to the Patriarchy Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Zachary, and here we have
Ethan.
And
Edward.
Now, I bet you're wondering why there's only 3 of us. That's because the rest were unavailable. However, I think that having such a big group as, a group the size that we are, it makes it interesting that we could just, do this whenever and have different hosts and stuff.
Yeah.
So, that's probably what you'll have to expect sometimes. Sometimes I won't be here. Sometimes, Edward and Ethan will be here, and it'll vary depending on the host and stuff. So I think that'd be pretty cool.
Waiter, would you bring in our drinks? Thank you, James. What you just heard, ladies and gentlemen, was the sound of our drinks being brought in. Here they are. Oh, right out of the ice.
Wow, what a mess, James. What a mess.
They look delicious.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Amazing.
Let's open them up here. Oh,
Got it.
oh wow. Listen to that hiss.
Got it.
Wow.
Got it.
You having some trouble there?
I am. How do you...
Go towards yourself.
Oh, I'm done. That's over here.
Oh, listen to that
There
hiss.
we go. No, I didn't have a good
Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
All right. Well, thank you, James, for that amazing
Thank you, James.
intro.
Please close the door on your way out.
Doors wide open.
James
Okay.
is my personal butler.
Sponsored by Boylan Bottling Co. They do the drinks at where I work, and that's the root beer that we're drinking, made by them.
Man, that delicious, creamy, smooth root beer going right now.
They also have great cane cola, and the cream soda is pretty alright, I guess.
It's pretty good. Yep. This
Anyway.
is now a drinking show.
This is a drinking show. Anyone out there, be like the great Senator Elizabeth Warren and just go get a beer with your husband.
Go grab yourself a lemonade or a sweet tea or just a
anything
water
you
if
can
want.
crack open. Like
Anything you can crack
grab
open.
an egg.
You should be drinking something while listening.
You
to
should.
this podcast.
Because
But not if you're driving. Don't drink and
yeah,
drive.
no.
We
Well,
can play
don't
a
drink
little
and
drinking
drive.
game for people listening. Every time we say, I don't know.
Every time we say that might actually be a good option. You will get hammered if you do that.
Jeez.
Every time we say patriarchy or
Every time
you laugh.
Every time we make a sexist joke. Actually, we did not make many sexist jokes in
We
our
did
last
not.
one.
We did, and then we clarified that we're not a sexist group. We're only sexist.
Yeah, but now we don't have to clarify anymore because they know. So we can charge straight towards that line, gentlemen.
So I was just thinking about something interesting a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
In 20 to 25 years, we might all have kids. And what if our kids were like really good friends and they were getting married? What would that be like if several of our kids were like getting married, or at least friends?
It'd be like I said. I would not
Anything's
complain.
possible.
I would not
20,
complain.
25 years
But
from
it would feel weird.
It'd bring us closer together because it's like
It would.
you want to live.
I think about it, we'd be like what in our 40s or 50s at that point.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Because you want to live close, like where your kids live, like
Mhm.
my mom's since we're moving to Ohio because she wants to be close to like her kids and grandkids.
Mm-hmm.
So then, like, say, Edward and my kids got married, and then like we kind of like end up moving together somehow, like in the same state, not like together. I don't want to live in the same.
No,
house
I don't
as
want to live
Edward.
in the same house as you.
No offense, but
no,
2 different lives. Edward's the silent carpenter type.
I am in many ways.
Mm-hmm.
But so Ethan, since you brought it up,
What was that question you were going to ask?
of all the,
No, this isn't
of all the
pre-planned.
patriarchs, so including all 8, which one would you want to have your kid marry their kid? I get that's hard to judge, seeing as how we're missing other halves for all of them except for Peter. But just ballpark, which would you want?
I call Edgar, so I'm not racist.
See, you already have me. I'm already half and half, so you get a quarter. So just enough to where you're not racist officially,
Yeah.
but you're still mostly.
Well, I'm just looking forward to seeing what Peter and Anna's kid is like.
It's probably gonna be really
gosh.
pale.
10 years from now.
Really pale. Yeah.
Probably really pale, but like, wonder what he's gonna be like. But anyways, I guess it would depend if I had a son and one of you guys had a daughter, or if I had a daughter and one of you guys had a son.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've never really thought about that.
That'd be weird. Yeah, it'd be kind of hard to judge at this point.
Yeah.
But since we're on topic of kids, do you guys want more sons than daughters, more daughters than sons?
have a son or a daughter?
No, you can have both. I'm just asking, which one would you rather
I
have?
wouldn't mind having daughters, but I at least want one son. 'Cause
Yeah.
Every guy wants a son, I think.
Yeah. Well, I've met a few that like just having daughters. I don't know why particularly they just do. But I always want a son.
Sons are cool.
Like, I think daughters have their own special things about them, obviously, and part of me does want a daughter as well. But a son is just kind of what I've always dreamed of passing on some wisdom.
Yeah, most guys want a son because it's just that thing where you want that something where you leave a legacy behind and that can be as close to you while also being known.
And your name is carried on.
Your name is carried on, and being able to carry your legacy on. Even
it's a great. I imagine it's a great feeling. So yeah. Anyway.
And then you can have your disappointment who's in your basement, but we don't talk about him.
No.
James.
James.
Oh, you didn't hear? Sorry, James.
James is listening at the door this whole time.
James is actually.
We told him to go away.
We put headphones on him and he listens to the podcast. And every time we judge him, we look over to make sure he's crying.
Yeah.
So, Zach, what was this topic you brought up earlier?
So first I have a funny story. So one of our friends, the Hendrickses, are putting in new flooring in their kitchen.
Yes. And
so a few days ago, Ethan and a few other friends went over, and basically before they put in like the tiling or whatever they're gonna do, they put in a bunch of what type
we wrote on the plywood.
Yeah, they wrote on the plywood. And so I went over today because my mom needed to get something notarized. And I was like, hey, I want to write something on the floor. And so I was debating between the thing I wrote and and another thing, which is like a Ron Swanson quote. Oh, good job. Oh, good job. Good job. Edward has just spilled his drink.
Right, I'll get some paper towels.
Not the first thing that's been spilled in here.
Technical difficulties, please stand by. It's all over the place. Oh, no. Oh, James! James!
Okay.
Anyway,
after that commercial break, which involved Boylan's root beer, which is a very bubbly and fizzy. So,
yep,
get yours today.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Yep.
Anyway, so
what were we talking about?
The plywood writing.
Oh yeah.
And so, no, I was deciding between the thing I actually wrote and the Ron Swanson quote. I didn't think of a Ron Swanson quote at the time. I was just gonna look one up. But I decided in like this long segment of plywood to write as much as the B movie script I could before.
Oh my gosh!
How far did you get?
I got the first part, the
According
aviation.
to all known laws of aviation, there is no way a bee
I
should
got
be able
that.
to fly.
I got the yellow, black, yellow, black, yellow, black. Got all the way down to Barry used the stairs. Your father paid good money for those. And I got to the part where they were. I think it's when he's leaving the house. It's a don't fly in the house. And it's like, oh, I'm just excited or whatever. And then it was like, hey, Barry, hey, Adam. And the Miss Hendricks was over there taking care of two kids. Yeah. And so one of the kids was watching me and he's like, whoa, you can write really fast. I don't think I can read that. So that's a legacy right there.
And then Zach pulls out a copy of the B movie out of his jacket and is like, let me show you something.
And then, as a nice gesture as well, put like quote Zachary Carlson, gonna miss you guys when I move. Just, as a respectful thing.
That's good.
So.
I assume this was a permanent marker as well.
I mean, it's going under their floor.
It's not gonna be visible. But
no, I'm saying like I want it to be immortalized in the subfloor.
It'll be there as long as the plywood's there.
When they move out, I'll go there. I will take the plywood out, cut it out, and keep that piece of plywood with it on. Yeah, that's the story. That's a part of what I did today.
Okay, interesting. That was well worth the wait.
It was well worth.
And by wait, I mean when you told me like 20 minutes ago.
I didn't tell you directly though. I said I did something, but I didn't tell you what I did.
Yeah.
How have you guys' days been so far?
Today was really slow. Like I woke up at 7:30 and then like I didn't get out of bed to get ready till like 8 because I was really tired. So for people for today's day, this is Wednesday, and so we recorded the first episode 4 days ago.
Saturday.
Yeah, it's like 4 or 5 days ago. And yesterday I spent that day editing that and my own video, and I started editing another video for someone. But then like it was like 12, and I was like, okay, I cut it all together. I'll just do the rest later. So like that was the most exhausting because I just had to sit there and listen to the audio and like cut stuff out, and I couldn't there wasn't anything I could do to like distract myself and take the you
Yeah.
know do something fun in a little bit because I would sit and listen and make sure everything was right.
Can you take breaks like every couple
I
months?
did. So I did my video and then I did the podcast. And I took a long break where I talked to Edward, a few of our friends,
Yeah.
and played like some games and stuff. And then I talked to the other person I'm editing for and like got their video. And I like cut that to like 12:30 and went to bed. But then after that, obviously I woke up. I had work today. And I got to work and I just felt very slow. Like, it was like a good thing though, because usually I think sometimes I rush and I like get like certain things wrong. So today I was able to like slowly process what people were asking for, like their orders, so I could get it done and get it right. But like I just felt very like the line was really long, but I was getting them done at a nice pace for myself.
Yeah.
So I mean, which I have a topic, but after you guys explain your days, how was your day, Ethan?
It's been good. I was covering a shift today for another guy. I don't usually work on Wednesdays. And then I realized that there's kind of a mad scramble to see who would cover the shift for the night because one of our drivers, his wife died either like this morning or last night, and he's an older guy. He's around like 40 or so. And I was like, oh man, I can't really work Wednesday nights. So eventually we kind of split the shift in half. So I'm going to do 6:30 to 10 to close.
Nice.
So yeah, that's what I'll be doing tonight.
Awesome.
But it's been a good day other than that.
That's good. How about you, Edward?
Therefore,
What do you do on Wednesdays?
Well, Wednesdays are usually my off day because of my current class schedule. I don't have any classes on Wednesdays, which makes the week go by much faster.
It's good to have a little break.
But makes this week even better is that it's kind of a spring break. I only get 3 days off from school.
I feel like that's what everyone's.
But it's still nice. Yeah, I don't get the full week off, but I still get half week off, which is nice. So, today I woke up at like 10. It was really nice. Made some breakfast, then ate lunch. My brother, who's stationed in Kuwait right now, called me up, wished me happy birthday 3 days late, but
he got there.
He got there. That's
there
what
eventually.
matters. And then, it worked out, and then I forgot we were doing this because Caleb messaged the chat saying he wasn't going to be able to, and I didn't know if we were actually going to do it. And then I see a message from Zach saying, hey, I'm coming over just getting food. I was like, oh, crap. So I kind of rushed out the door. And then I ended up here. So
What'd you eat? What'd you eat for lunch today?
I had leftover chicken tenders that Mom made with homemade honey mustard.
Oh, homemade.
It's pretty good.
It sounds delicious.
It's really good. I need to have you guys try it sometime.
I had 3 rice cakes and some coffee.
You eating a rice cake?
Yes.
I was told it was good for dieting. I had Chick-fil-A.
That Chick-fil-A is probably pretty good.
Chick-fil-A was good. I got to the fries when they got too cold though, or like, yeah, it wasn't fun. You always gotta get to the fries first, or else they get cold.
All right. Any topics?
I have one. I have a question.
Real quick, let me open up these M&Ms.
Oh yes.
Sponsored by M&Ms.
By Mars Chocolate.
You can hear the delicious sound of the M&Ms being opened.
Is there a car you want to talk about as well while you're at it?
This is Matthew McConaughey here talking about Lincoln.
Brought to you by the all-new reimagined 2020 Ford Escape.
Oh.
Which is, back in the old days, driving seemed a lot more simple. There was less distractions on the road. These days, driving is a lot more complicated, which is why the new 2020 Ford Escape has been built with a full 360 standard technology, which can assist with the challenges of today and also help predict the challenges of tomorrow. The new, completely reimagined 2020 Ford Escape.
I'm pretty sure last time it was a Chevy Traverse.
No,
but...
it was always the Ford Escape.
All right, whatever you say.
So what's your topic?
Okay, so I completely forgot that they exist until today, but I was at work and a midget walked in.
For real?
So I'm just if there's a midget out there, no, I don't mean to be rude or anything. Like, this is just a topic that I want to talk about because why not?
Dude, send him this podcast.
No.
Who just gave him his email address when he ordered the food? Oh, by the way, here's my email address. I'm pretty sure this is what you sound.
I just want to know, one good question is where do they get their clothes? What do you guys think about? What do you think about that?
Kids stores.
Kids stores? You think so?
Yeah.
What is he wearing?
What is a she? But she's wearing. I mean, I don't know. She's wearing generic clothes.
Yeah.
She's wearing like a skirt, like a shirt as well.
Kids stores.
Kid stores?
Kid shoes.
There's some big kids out there now, so.
I guess it's true, but like, you know, there's not like a designated store to like for.
There probably
midgets.
is, but it's probably an online store.
Mm.
Which really shouldn't be talking about
I need
alcohol,
to
but
lay down.
whatever.
Oh, mind my shifting while I lay down crisscross applesauce is getting tired. And I'm like at the slant in this little room.
Yeah, the room that we're in is like a triangle.
Oh, yeah.
So it's
It's
like
an attic, but it's kind of like a little bit. It's done up a little bit with carpet and like painted walls, but it's still an attic. So
there's still like a pipe just going through the middle of
just
this
a weird
room.
shaped room.
But it's a unique room.
It's a unique room. We love it.
Um,
It used to be full of Legos. Anyway,
No, it's literally
What
full
other-
of nothing.
what other questions
Full
do we
of
have
us.
about midgets? Do you guys have a question about midgets?
Do they work for Santa?
One.
Okay.
All of them.
I have a question.
Okay.
So, I mean, this is probably not a huge problem nowadays because, technology can probably tell you it's like, yeah, your child's going to be stunted growth and all that. But at what age do you find out you're a midget? Like, do you just, like, stop growing at a certain age and you're like, I haven't grown in 3 years and I'm like, 3'5".
Well,
Am I a midget?
you still go through puberty. but
Well,
it's
no,
just
I know
like
that.
your
But I
height.
mean, like, when do you figure out you're a midget?
What is it?
Again, you probably know before that now. Again, thanks to technology and stuff. But like back in the old days,
Thank you,
like,
Elon Musk. Very
well,
cool.
you haven't grown in enough time. I guess you're a midget now. So any old school midgets out there, how'd you find out?
And what was puberty like?
Imagine it's the same as
I
it is
mean,
for
yeah,
us.
but
Same,
like-
it's just you're smaller.
Like, what was it like? Looking from like a kid to like an adult.
Probably
but
the
still
same as
looking
it
the
is for
same.
us.
I don't know what that looks
They
like.
just are less tall.
Oh, thanks for just answering my question like that.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
They're trying to protect you from being height phobic. Yeah.
Oh, right. Sorry, my bad. I'm actually really short.
Well, he's the shortest one in the patriarchy, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
But he's still like 5'9", so.
But I'm I'm 5'10". Well,
You're 5'10", wow.
hold on. I don't know if that's with the boot I was wearing. Because the
Oh.
doctors measured me and they said it's 5'10", but I don't know if that was with the added,
Fake
boot.
news.
Usually, whenever I've been to the doctor, they always tell me to take off my shoes before they measure how tall
But
I am.
I bet it was kind of hard to do that with
Oh,
in a
right.
boot. Yeah. Not cast a boot, but still.
Mhm.
But
Just take off.
I'm either 5'9" or 5'10", so either
We're
way,
a pretty
I'm still the
tall group
shortest.
of dudes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lots of tall and skinny people, too. I'm probably like the biggest one here in terms of size.
Clunk.
I'm not the tallest at
Clonk.
all.
Clunk.
Clunk.
Clank. So,
You gotta do the cool thing.
it's not cold enough, Zach. Oh, you're talking about noise.
I thought about using it as a whistle, but okay.
Wade in the water.
I haven't had M&M's. Pass the...
Oh yeah. Help yourself.
I shifted around just to go back into crisscross applesauce.
It'd be like that.
I had something I was gonna say, but I forgot.
We really should
Oh.
write these things down.
I saw a TikTok. I think it was this morning. And this cool autistic kid. He made like an instrument out of a palm tree.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know what he did exactly, but I saw like the video. So the branches, there were like 3 branches, and they were taped. And then I assume he like poked a hole through the entire thing or something, or like cut it open and then like taped it back together because there was tape around it too. And then he had like this little stick that had a hole in it, and that was like the mouthpiece.
Hmm.
And it sounded pretty cool. Like, it was very
Yeah.
impressive. I'd like to know how that's like possible because like that's
I
pretty.
thought you were
cool.
gonna say he took 2 coconut halves and collected them together.
No, that's what we did.
Mm.
In
That was a good
Prodigal
instrument.
Princess. It is,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, always remember, kids. In the eyes of a 40-foot dragon, you're a
You're a
chicken
secret.
nugget with legs.
Ethan is quoting old lines that I
I
had.
watched that last night.
You watched it again?
Oh, you watched it again?
Yeah. Okay. So this might be the first time we talked about it on this podcast, but
I think we mentioned Prodigal because
I-
Jack said he met Eli in Prodigal, but we haven't told him.
We haven't
what's
gone
up.
into
by
kind
the
of
way,
detail
we're all
of
in
that.
the theater.
Well, we were.
We were.
I mean, I kind of am because I'm assistant
Yeah,
director
we
of the show,
all
but that doesn't count.
to varying degrees met in a theater program for
Or at least
schools.
bonded there.
Yeah, or at least bonded. Met,
Morph.
That's
James.
James.
Silence the dog.
Anyway, so
That's it.
is your
Get the gun.
old
No,
yeller?
I'm kidding. We love Daisy here on the podcast.
We don't love James though.
Yeah, I'll see
No,
what's up.
James, get out.
Go on without me.
All right. Well, Ethan's gonna leave us and go tend to the dog that James failed to tend to.
James, why are we paying the big bucks?
What are we gonna do with him? Anyway, so now it's just me and Zach. Let's talk bad about Ethan.
Yeah.
What is so terrible about this man?
I
Anyway,
literally don't know.
So we all met more bonded. I think I didn't meet any of you in Faith Players directly, but I knew all of you were. So we all met in this theater group for homeschoolers called Faith Players. And oh, by the way, we were all homeschooled at varying points in life. I only went in the last 2 years, but most of these people...
He went to like public school or something.
No, I didn't. I went to a private Christian school that was kind of trash. But if any of my LCS friends are watching or listening, that they'll totally agree with me.
Probably.
Yeah.
We
real
should go
quick-
through all the plays and like say our rules.
Okay.
We
well,
should.
all right. So
Well, wait. Before we start, I want to welcome Daisy.
Daisy the dog
podcast.
goes back. Daisy, say hi.
Bork.
Nice.
Bark.
Okay.
All right, whatever.
That
You heard
was
her
it.
earlier. Now she's in the room. So.
Yeah. So this theater company is run by our friend Joshua Rexford and his wife Tabitha Rexford
Okay, now
and
let's
their
do
baby
a,
Japheth Rexford
let's do a
and their
real-
other baby Avonlea Rexford
let's do a real plug
and
real
his
quick.
and his mom Amelia
Oh my
Rexford.
gosh.
And some music is written by his brother. Okay, I'm done now.
Let's do a real plug.
Oh, we've got
a plug
sales.
real.
Yeah, real
Oh,
plug.
gosh.
So the page
So real
on
plug.
page on Facebook. Facebook.
I,
The Christian
okay.
alternative.
The
Wait, can I side note about that? In my Lee Christian school, I think the year before I left, the yearbook's name was Faithbook,
Oh
and on the front of it had like username, password.
I hate it. I hate it. I hate that so
Cringe.
much.
It was so cringe, but
Anyway,
oh my
I
god.
would like
Anyway.
to do a real plug for
Yeah.
their movie that they're trying to make.
Yep.
The Prodigal Princess and the Knights of the Slightly Oblong Table.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
They're currently looking for funding
yeah, they're
and going to the Christian Worldview Film Festival next week. I'm going with them as well,
Yeah.
just to like go in general.
yeah they're finishing up the script. We've all read the script, and as people who are also involved in the play, it's really nice to see it kind of adapted to a film
Yep.
style, and it still keeps true to the message and the characters. But so let's go through kind of each of our respective experiences in Faith Players, I guess, because none of us, actually, you two have been in every single play, not every single production, but you have been in each of the 7 plays they've done. Yes, you were.
I've been in every single one.
Oh, that's
I
what you
haven't-
hadn't. Okay.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen a Faith Player show as an audience member.
Yeah.
I've
So
always
Luke
been
is on
involved
3,
somehow.
so I have the shortest experience, but you
We've
guys
been
go
in all the
first.
same plays except we each skipped an and.
I was in
Because
there.
you-
Yeah, but not the first one.
Oh, the first one
and then I wasn't in the second.
The first one they had already casted, and I saw it at the open house for our co-op, and then I was like, man, that blows. I don't want to see that. It's Anne. I don't care about Anne. And then Pyrotessa came up, and I was like, whoa, pirates.
Should we go through the names
singing.
of the plays first?
Sure.
So there's, I guess we're
Screwtape.
going, Screwtape BC, The Prodigal Princess, and the
What is it, TC
oh, yeah,
first? Yeah, it's TC first.
Screwtape BC, Thanksgiving Carol,
Then
which
it's
is,
Prodigal.
then Prodigal Princess and the Knights of the Slightly Oblong Table.
Then they did Anne of Green Gables.
Yeah, and
And
then
then
Pyrotessa,
Pyrotessa,
Estella, and then Book in the Door.
Book in the Door.
All right, so
That's
those
7.
that's 7 plays. Obviously, Anne is not an original, but all the other 6 are originals from Josh Rexford. So go through kind of your each experience in Faith Players.
Go ahead, Ethan.
Oh, okay. So when I joined, I was 14 in fall of 2014, and we were doing Anne of Green Gables, and that was a pretty fun play. My first experience in theater.
What were your roles?
I played Mr. Barry, and Jack was in that. He played Mr. Phillips, the school teacher.
Oh, no.
And Patriarch Peter Quayle was in it. He
Peter
played
Quayle
played
played
Gilbert Blythe.
Gilbert Blythe, yeah. So that was
Ooh.
I'm surprised I remember that guy's last name.
Liv Gilbert.
Blithy.
Blivy.
So yeah, that was pretty good. That was a classic, starter play. Got a lot of new people involved in Faith Players. And then in spring of next year, in 2015, they did Pyrotessa, which was an original, first ever showing. And I was a little scrunchy little kid with
I remember this very well.
plastered down hair that was like a helmet when you could like bang a brick over it and it wouldn't break.
His name was Milton. He was basically like the math history whatever
He was the
nerd
nerd.
of the group. He's the nerd of the group. I was in that.
That was your first play.
That was my first play. Yes,
Uh-huh.
I played the I'd say like sexist stereotype basically.
Wannabe sex. He
Well,
played
not
an
wannabe.
E-boy. He played a pirate E-boy.
But his name was Wilkins. He was the lookout, and it was a fun one. Definitely tried to learn a lot. But I mean, that was like the first time when I started to actually like get friends here. Because when I first moved here, we had like friends I knew from Georgia who had moved here, and then like I tried basketball for a while, and like we got friends, but then those people moved like that, and so then faith players is kind of like where I started like get to know people better.
That's a movie. So now both of you are pretty much in plays together.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of got through.
That's how I met you and like the Workmans and Cameron Cuddy. And
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I told you this the other day, but I liked there's a bit in Paratessa, in the version that we did the first time, where his character's like trying to lift weights, and it's basically like coconuts, like empty coconuts on a little like barbell, and he just can't do it. And I always thought that was the funniest thing.
So that was a pretty good play. And then that fall, 2015, they did.
Wait, no, they skipped one because that's when.
Well, they skipped.
Yeah, they
That's
skipped
when
one because
got
they were
married.
gonna do. Yep, that's where
Yeah,
he
they
got
got
married.
married that fall, 2015. Then they went to England for a while.
Or was it Ireland?
I think they went to both.
Probably both.
They are next to each other after all.
Yeah, that's true.
Wait,
Anyway.
was that 2015?
No, that was
2016.
like their 1 year anniversary or something, wasn't it?
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, this
Yeah.
is about
Anyway,
their
it doesn't
marriage.
matter. It doesn't.
So they
Anyway.
got married, and then
Estella.
in the spring of 2016, we did Estella, which is like the story of Esther set in Renaissance Italy.
That's a fun one. Definitely a fun one.
That was pretty fun. Probably one of my maybe my favorite play.
That's where I got my iconic lines. What? So you played. Who'd you play?
Maybe not my favorite, but like it's up there. It's
It's
a
up
really
there,
good play.
Oh gosh.
I was Mario, like an Italian chef.
Classically they had to include two characters, Italian characters named Mario and Luigi because
Classic.
it was
Classic.
Italian. It was an Italian. It was
And then we had
Esther
in
set in
Italy.
Renaissance Italy.
He had a
get the
sister
fun,
named
yeah.
Peach.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, but what's the classic line? that
I don't know. You
always
say your
from
classic
behind
line.
the line, behind the
Oh,
wall.
his. Right.
I just watched this.
Is the Godfather reference?
It was like
Yeah.
you have to make her an offer you can't refuse.
You gotta do it
Like
in
I'm
your voice.
waving. You have to make her an offer you can't refuse.
There you go.
And like I'm waving a little
No.
meat cleaver.
No, that was. Oh, okay, yeah, that was your line, yeah.
Do you have a horse?
And then he pulls out the meat cleaver,
Yeah,
implying that he's
yes.
gonna kill it. It was great.
All right, Zach, and who'd you play?
I
in
played
Estella?
a great role of Captain of the Guard.
What's your iconic line?
My iconic line being, "Would you like to read the text code, sir?" It's a riveting read. In which that
It
joke
is.
only worked because the third performance on the weekend was tax day.
Yep.
And that was it.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
It was brilliant, honestly.
All right,
And
so
then
then after Estella,
After that was Book in the Door.
no Screw Tape.
No.
Oh,
Y'all
Screw
did-
Tape,
This is when they did
yeah.
Screw Tape the
Fall of 2016.
second time here in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I played a little slave child who was like all in love with
Right,
his mistress, Miss Priscilla.
You
Like all the slaves
you also played a slave seller.
Oh, to clarify,
big
Screw Tape
sense.
VC is basically a comedic retelling of the story of Joseph from Genesis.
And it uses like the screw tape letters.
Yeah, by C.S. Lewis. And then it kind of goes from a perspective of three demons who kind of screw up everything. Anyway, continue.
Or try to screw up everything.
Yeah, but they screw up screwing up. So do they do the right?
Yeah.
We need to go into detail on
Anyway,
the morality
so you
of
were-
these demons.
You were the slave trader, the servant, slave, and was that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
And Caleb, his brother,
Oh yeah.
was little Benjamin and has the best line ever, mostly because of how little his voice sounds there. And we can't
take that.
He didn't take that.
Yeah. Anyway, so Zach, you were just crew for
I
that
was
one,
crew
right?
for that one. I
Yeah.
was the director's assistant.
Nice.
I helped Justin Rexford. He played a character called Underlord Pride, and it was basically like the costume was like grim. It was like a Grim Reaper type thing, only darker and stuff. And there, I had to help him at one point during a to get ready. And so the way his costume was, they didn't want audience to see his face, obviously. So they had to put like three things of cloth over his face, so that way in the light no one would see what his face looked like.
Didn't he have a baseball hat under the hood?
He did have a baseball hat to like extend the robe as well.
His head looked like the bodies of those creatures in that movie with Jim Halpert.
The Quiet
The
Place.
Quiet Place?
Yes, that.
I mean,
The Quiet
I
I've never
guess
seen
I
a
see
Quiet
it.
Place, so I can't
you
say.
haven't?
I haven't.
I've wanted to, I just haven't.
Dude, you haven't seen a
We
Quiet
need to see
Place?
a Quiet Place.
What the
I
heck?
haven't seen it either.
What?
We need to watch a Quiet Place.
All right, we need to watch Quiet Place.
All right,
That'll be
anyway,
our next
so, Book in the Door. The great fantasy epic.
That was fun. That was my favorite because honestly, chorus is not the main role, but chorus is so fun because you get to play like 50 million different things. Because so Book in the Door, I played a character called Homer, and it was basically, the Book in the Door is basically about this
It's like
girl.
Narnia.
It's like Narnia. This girl gets sent to a fantasy world and with a book, and the book is basically banned, and it starts this big like revolutionary war in the world because they're enslaved to an evil queen. And my character was one of the cafe brothers at the Seven Elven. And there were 7 of us, and we were all named after philosophers, right? Because it's Ralph, Homer.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Ralph, Homer, Emerson, stuff like that.
Mm.
And then after that, after Homer, I just played a bunch of chorus characters. Fun story from that. One time, so when we do concessions, we'll do like competitions between characters. So for example, I had a twin brother who, my character had like a twin brother, and his name was Hugo. So it was Hugo and Homer versus 2 of the other ones. And so after that, we had to go into the stairwell that was like right across from the concessions room, and change and get ready for a scene where we're all like, the evil queen's like henchmen. And so we all were supposed to like run in, and it's like this big scene where they're like talking about chasing us down or something. And that night, I think it was the first night performance. I was upset because I couldn't change from one pair of pants to the other fast enough. And by the time I got them on, I went out to the hallway, and the person who opens the door for us said they went in, and I missed the queue. So
Yes.
I couldn't go in. So I like beat myself because that's the first time I'd ever like missed the queue or something. And like I know no one would notice, but that for myself, that being my first time, sucked. And I remember I wanted to try and do something where, if I timed it correctly, I would like run in at the end and be really tired, and then they're like, "All right, let's go," and then kind of just like be like, "No, please don't." But then like I couldn't.
That would have worked.
It could have worked, but I mean, they would have had to open the door and like let me in
Yeah.
and stuff, so it would have been really distracting.
All right.
But that's my story. Ethan, you played a character in that.
I played an old man named Uncle Max, and his like alter ego in this fantasy world named Abbott.
That was a fun one.
He runs an abbey and he helps them like get some supplies.
He kind of hides people away for a while
Some
too,
wisdom.
since he's like in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
That was a fun one.
That was pretty fun play. That was spring 2017.
And then finally we have TC,
Hey, this is
where
I get to
Edward
come in.
comes in.
Edward's
Yeah,
first
so I
play.
knew
Ethan-
these guys since I met you in between Power Test showing, so it was like the week in between. I don't know when I met you. You were sometime after that though.
It was like sometime at youth group, I'm sure.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, Thanksgiving Carol. This was the year I was starting homeschooling, and obviously I wanted to be part of Faith Players because that's where all the friends I knew were. And
Nope.
I wasn't expecting much because I never really acted before, so I go up, I audition, and I get the role of Death, which is so Thanksgiving Carol obviously is just the Christmas Carol set in modern day around Thanksgiving instead of Christmas.
It's
And
about a actor instead
Yeah.
of like a greedy like
who
businessman or something.
Eli, our friend Eli played.
Yes,
very
Eli,
well.
the other guy who's on here, he played
Yeah.
the main character Ed Spurge.
And so I played the role of Death, who's the final ghost that comes and visits Ed, and it was just a really great first role. I could not have asked for a better intro
Ethan,
into
were
acting.
you in that? Were you
No, that's what
backstage?
you.
I took a break from acting because I wanted
Yeah.
to try backstage, so I interviewed for assistant stage manager,
Oh, yeah.
and I got it. So that
Nice.
was a really, really good experience.
Zach.
Before I say mine, also Caleb, who's on the podcast, he played a one scene character, but it was like an animatronic version of like Scrooge Scrooge Ebenezer, right? Is that his name?
Yeah, Ebenezer Scrooge. Yeah.
Ebenezer Scrooge, my bad. And his character is actually pretty cool. Like going back and watching the recorded version, like they had like very detailed cartoon makeup on him, and he moved very robotically. Mm-hmm. So big clap for Caleb real quick. Big clap. But moving on from Caleb, I played I basically played the brother-in-law to Ed Spurge, and
whose name is unironically and unintentionally
Ben Carson. So Ben Carson was in
white.
He is pale.
I am pale.
But what was your famous thing? What was Ben's big thing?
Do I have to do it?
Yeah. You don't have to do the line, but okay. Well, yeah, do the line.
I don't want to do that.
We're in a closed room, so it's gonna be really loud. But
I'm not gonna do it. So with much pompadour and.
All right, those of you listening in headphones, brace yourselves.
I'm gonna back up to like the corner of the room so far away from
project like you're doing sound checks.
Hold on, let me crouch under this light.
Make sure you breathe into your diaphragm. Don't kick over your root beer.
I'm trying to. It was. Say yes to the dressing, baby. Ba 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 da 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 da. Epic.
Cool.
All right.
Nice.
That was the famous line.
And Ethan, do you still have the turkey?
Yep. So the turkey that was on the tray that he brought out, I had him sign, and then I got it in a silent auction later.
I then had to use it for a little bit of a side tangent, but I was in this
terrible play.
I wish I could have seen that.
No, you don't.
I wish I didn't have to say terrible, just because I feel bad for the people. I'll just say that. It was terrible.
Okay, well, I saw it, and it was partially due to that theater having no air conditioning. I just wanted to leave as fast as possible. Yeah. Because I was burning up in that theater.
But basically, I had to use that turkey again because I was in a version of The Miracle Worker. Literally, okay, the auditions, my mom was like, hey, you should go and audition for this so you can have a different experience of auditions in case, if you want to keep doing acting. And so I was like, okay, I'll do it because, I need to have that experience. Mm-hmm. And that same day, after reading, the director was like, all right, you're playing this character. And I was like, I can't say no at this point.
Yeah.
They've already given it. I feel bad because there's so little people there. I have to take it.
Yep.
I felt so bad.
You were probably the best actor in that thing, though.
Thank you. But, I didn't have much competition.
That's true.
Don't get me wrong. The people who I worked with were actually pretty great people. They were they were older, and they weren't really, Christians or anything. Mm-hmm. But they were still fun to be around. Like, the guy who played my dad... And Helen Keller's dad was like, he was retiring from a university that was local in the area, and he at the after show party, at the cast party, he did like balloon animals and stuff. Oh. So it was really fun. But side tangent off. That aside, I did have to use the turkey again, just as like a prop. So I had to turn the turkey the other way so the audience didn't see the handwriting signature on it.
The famous Zachary Colson signature.
So
anyway, moving on from Thanksgiving Carol, we come to my personal favorite.
My personal favorite.
And me and Zach both know my personal favorite.
Spring 2018.
Spring 2018, The Prodigal Princess and the Knights of the Slightly Oblong Table,
That's where this all started.
Yeah, that is
kind of... the top.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Which, just for context, The Prodigal Princess is originally... a play that Joshua Rexford has written and is now trying to make it a movie. Yeah. Just for context.
So they have different feels, but same story. Anyway, so me and Zach both got to play main characters in this one, which is great. I played Sir Edwin Leor, as he's known in the play. And Zachary, who'd you play?
I played Sir Richard the Chicken-Hearted.
And our buddy, who's not a patriarch, but we're going to mention him anyway, our buddy Gabe Winslow played Sir Guy the Gullible, which rounds out the trio. And so
what a great trio.
We were...
yeah.
There's a raisin up here?
But that's when I truly became a great friend with Edward. Along with Gabe.
Yeah. And Leah McDonald, who played Paige.
Our Paige. Hey,
that was the start of
Let's do the thing.
Romance.
Kill
no,
the
we're
page.
not going to fine, whatever. Okay, there's the one mention.
Kill the page. There you go.
He's going to love that. Anyway.
She will.
Ethan, so yeah, we were...
Did you do anything in that? You were ASM again, right?
Yeah, he was.
No, I was going to be. I was like, should I audition? Should I not?
Oh, you were
stage man. I said, I'm going to do ASM again. And then before I could interview, Tabitha was like, hey, you want to be stage manager? I was like, oh.
It's your phone call?
Oh, it's your phone.
Oh, it's your phone. I thought it was mine.
I'm getting a call.
Just answer live.
Answer
Answer
live.
live. Tell your mom you're on the podcast.
Hello?
That she's on the podcast.
Hi.
Hey.
Don't cut this out. Zach.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah?
Uh-oh. What? Technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll take care of it. No worries.
We're gonna take this moment to
Yeah, you're
mention our
welcome.
sponsor, Boylan Bottling Co. For great
Disclaimer,
root
we're
beer.
not actually sponsored by Boylan.
We're not actually sponsored, but I'll take this time to fill it in.
Okay. Have a good
Boylan,
time.
can you? I'm trying to
Excuse me. All right. Love you too. Bye.
do an advertisement right here.
All
Boylan
right,
Bottling
anyway.
Co.
All right.
For all your root beer
that was
and
my
soda
mom.
needs.
She's calling. All right.
She was calling us.
She was calling. She's not calling anymore.
All right. Anyway, so yeah, we played the Knights of the Slightly Long Table, and that was
And Ethan
such a
was
fun-
stage manager. And that
He
was
was.
pretty
Yeah,
fun
I
too.
got promoted.
probably so hectic for you with all the different set pieces that we
Yeah,
had.
for sure. It
There's
was.
so we had carts, we had prisons, we had what else did we have? We had tons
We
of
had, like, a
tables.
bar
We
that
had tons
split
of
in
tables.
half.
We had a bar because
Right.
it's a musical, so there's lots of dancing.
We ran. I remember intensely running several transitions
Mhm.
with the chorus members, and there's so many people, and there's the potential to have a lot of noise and a lot of squeaking because the stage isn't the best, and so many crates and tables and stuff, and we ran them several times, and everyone pitched in and made it so good.
Oh yeah, it
And
was
it was
incredible.
so smooth,
It was
and even
incredible.
in the DVD, you can hardly hear them moving behind the curtain. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's so smooth.
Next is
Anna Green
Anna
Gables.
Green Gables. This
Ethan-
is the one you sat out.
Yeah, Ethan sat out this.
Ethan
one.
sat out Anna Green
But
Gables.
Zach and I were in this
Did
one.
not.
And we did play the same
We
role
played
in
the
a
same
way.
role in a way.
Matthew Cuthbert. I was cast as Matthew Cuthbert, surprisingly.
I was his
You were
understudy.
understudy.
Along as
I'm going to say
playing.
it here on the podcast. I think you should have been Matthew Cuthbert,
I mean,
honestly.
I won't say it, but as a humble brag to myself, I think I should have been too.
Yeah, okay.
But I understand why they did with you having more of a stage presence because you're a bigger.
Yeah.
You have a bigger presence. on the
I
stage.
really did enjoy playing Matthew because it was a different acting challenge for me
Yeah.
to kind of play a shy, quiet character. Even though I'm that way in real life, on stage, I can have more of like a profound presence. But it was a really nice. It was a nice chill play. Like production week's usually hectic, and production week was so calm.
It was calm.
Like I really felt no stress about that show at all.
Yeah, along with being Matthew Cuthbert's understudy, I also played the train conductor in the beginning, and I played Mr. Barry,
Yes.
who was
so,
what's her face's what's her
uh,
name?
crap, what is her name? Diana
Barry.
Yeah.
As you can see, we
Diana
remember the
Barry's
show
wife.
very well.
Very obviously, and I had to interact with Gabe Winslow, who was Mr. Phillips, and
yeah.
I hated that. I remember purposely butchering my performance as Mr.
Same.
Phillips just so I had to
Same.
play that character.
Same.
That's a
Anyway, so and then they're going to the final show that we've all been in together, Pyrotessa,
Pyrotessa.
which was our senior year performance and great
Still
show
waiting
to
for
go
that
out on.
DVD. Should release that soon if you're listening to this.
Yeah.
That would be a great idea.
That would be a
So,
great idea. But
So yeah, we were all in this one. This was probably the biggest show we were in because everyone was singing,
everyone was singing,
except for the
everyone was
Frenchmen.
dancing.
But all
This
of
was,
us
okay,
were.
so original Pyrotessa was actually supposed to be a musical, but it didn't work out.
Yeah.
And then this version was. And it was
It was a freaking
it
musical.
was
we had
it
like
was a musical
13
alright.
songs,
Yep.
something like that.
Which
Not
is
counting reprises or anything.
yeah, and that's like the average before was like 4 or 5.
I think
maybe, or
Estella had
6.
like 4. Prodigal, the second time they did it, had I think about 8,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly. But yeah, this was the biggest one. We
This
had new
was.
lights on the stage.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
all the
we
fancy
had-
color lights.
We had a new soundboard. It was great. So let's go around and say who we played.
Ethan?
Go with you. Biggest role.
I really missed acting, so I auditioned, and that was kind of weird because I hadn't auditioned in 2 years.
Yeah, because you were ASM and SM and then
Yeah.
off.
And so I auditioned again, and I was like, oh maybe I'll get one of the supporting parts. And then that was a pretty fun audition, and went better than I had hoped. And then I got cast as first in the callbacks, it was like between you, me, and Andrew.
No, it was Edward.
It was you. It was me, you, and Andrew for
Yep.
Gavin, and then us 3 for Billy.
Yep.
Mark.
Yep.
Yeah, because
And then it was between you, me, and Andrew for Richard. And I remember.
No, it was you, Andrew, and Jackson for Richard.
And then
was it?
I had
You
mentioned
read
to Tabitha that I wanted to read for Richard,
Yeah.
and I got to. But I'm glad that I didn't get the role because I did not fit it at all.
That callback session was
The most stressful call.
it was pretty stressful because we had to do sides and then sing and things. But I remember leaving that, and we were all so happy because we knew that no matter how things shifted and who was cast, we would all be so happy for whoever got it because we all knew that we could do it.
Yeah.
So, like, I literally had no idea who would get what part because we were all
Especially
demonstrated.
Especially with Gavin and then the female counterpart Bonnie. It was like, it got really hectic.
Leah did a really good accent.
Yeah.
And then who else read?
Rachel
Rachel
and
as
Rachel
Aslan.
and Aslan both read. Yeah.
Yep. I remember you, Edward, me, and Gabe were all called back for Girls Bear, who is like the...
Which surprised me because I was like, I don't see any of us as
Girls Bear is like just...
He's like a boisterous Australian cook.
It's basically just, Bear Grylls, but as a pirate.
And I knew Jackson
And a
was
bad
going to
cook.
get it.
Yeah.
And he did. And I'm like, could save some time here. But anyway, regardless. So we'll go on. Zach, who did you play?
I played Peg Leg Matthew, who in the first one was this basically like self-destructive, like the most pirate you could get. He was always fiddling with TNT and like bear traps and stuff. I remember because they actually gave him like gunpowder and stuff as props. I remember that. And then my favorite. Okay, side tangent real quick, but my favorite story from the first time we did the Piratessa, the guy who played Peg Leg Matthew in the middle of a performance was like, "Hey guys, want to see a trick? Put a bunch of hand sanitizer on his hand and lay it on fire."
Yes.
And we all were like, "Whoa, that's so cool!" Like someone had to comment and be like, "No, you shouldn't do that while the show is going on." So that just explains that.
It's quite the legacy to live up to, Zach.
Yeah. I don't know how I did it
You lived up to it.
Well, you had music on your side this time.
I lived up to it and made it like almost 10. Like not. I don't want to say that because that would be kind of rude. Not 10 times better, but like I made it different and made it really great.
Yeah.
Because it should have just been like a small role that people just pass on, but I basically like almost stole the show some nights.
Yeah.
Like so context for my favorite bit is when it's a scene where Richard comes back, and basically the entire thing is like a girl's crew and a guy's crew of pirates land on the same island, and they don't know it and stuff like that.
Just X that out.
No, there's a thing. Hold on. Let's exit this out. 1 second. Anyway, so they land on this island for like a crash or whatever. They don't they're on different sides. They don't know it. And at one point, I think Richard, the main guy who's like meeting up with one of the girl pirates who like saw her, he comes back and says he saw a woman on the island. But before then, everyone's saying like different things like, "Oh, did you find buried treasure? Oh, did you find this?" And I say, "Did you find a bear trap rigged to a large explosive device?" I have a prop bear trap that was made of like cardboard and stuff on my hand, and so one of the characters who is a doctor is like cutting it off of my hand as well. So that scene, I get it cut off, and we put a bandage on my hand, and then we start doing a song and dance routine about why you should never get married and have a girlfriend and stuff. And there's a segment in the song where it's just like a dance break, and we do like this cool clap in the song. It's
I remember this part now.
That's it. That was the clap.
Good job.
And after I did that, my character would be singing, and he had like a part as well that he would sing, and I would kind of add a little bit of a cry to it, because that's when like the morphine, not the morphine, but like the alcohol or whatever would like run off.
Yeah.
And it would just hurt. Like my head would basically hurt. And so I basically like scream that one line.
I remember this.
And that was
so
like
good.
It's solid. I can't wait to see it on video.
Oh yeah.
And then the next scene I have a hook hand. The entire bit with me was just losing limbs.
Yeah.
It was great.
Anyway, so I played Captain Lord William Blasting Billy Fitzherbert Seymour Leghorn James Pomeroy. Or just Blasting Billy for short. Yes, I still remember the name. I'm just a British captain who's famous for hunting pirates, and me and my fiance Eleanor Hamilton get washed up on the island with the rest of the pirates, and I'm taken captive by these fine gentlemen.
And his fiance is taken by the girl.
Yeah, I don't want to give too much away about the story, which you probably already have, but like there's still so much more to see.
Mm-hmm.
Buy the DVD.
Buy the DVD when it comes
out. Hopefully soon.
Go see Cafe and buy the DVD. Anyway, so Yeah, Blasting Billy, for me, it was a role that was... It was
Defines who I am.
It defines who I am.
No, it was a role that I was so comfortable with. Like, I don't remember getting much actual direction during the show, just because I just played the character really well, I guess. And some, part of me was like, oh man, I really wish I had a role I could actually challenge myself on, like the last one. But then as the show went on, I was really like, it is nice to have this freedom to just kind of be like, you know what, anything I do in this character, I know the character so well that they'll probably be fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember, like, in this show, I would just add different, I didn't have any lines, but I would add different facial expressions, different, things I was doing on the island, different tones in my lines. And it was really nice to kind of explore just, like, the details of acting, since I already got the big role down.
Yeah.
But yeah, Blasting Billy was a lot of fun. My favorite part of that is probably, I think it was the fourth night, where I have a confrontation with the main villain, who's this short little Frenchman, and basically, he's trying to talk smack to me, and he has a line where he's supposed to say the whole big name I said at the beginning of this, but he purposely messed it up, and so I snap around and correct him, and the whole audience just started clapping at that one moment, and I felt so cool.
It was so impressive. Even the walls started clapping.
Even the walls were clapping. Dogs were clapping. Daisy was clapping.
Daisy hasn't said a thing yet. She's still here, by the way.
She's quiet. But anyway, so that was.
Yeah, I think so.
It was a really nice role to go out on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
All right.
So that's our Faith Players experience.
Rank from Ethan and Edward and me. Rank your favorite characters that you played.
Did I play?
What?
Yes,
you did. You were the first one.
You went into pretty good detail about it.
Yeah.
Wait, did you say you actually got cast?
No, I got cast as Gavin.
I can't believe we didn't catch that.
I think I skipped that.
I think you said, it was between us, and then we never said who got it.
Yeah, but you got cast as Gavin, who was the main male. Second main, but the captain of the guys crew.
Yeah.
That was a really fun role.
I can't believe
Probably
you
my favorite.
say
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so
definitely a good one to go out on.
So, from third, second, first, who are your favorite characters that you've played?
Third, second, first. Oh, okay, yeah. So top three.
Top three, yeah. Unless someone else already has theirs.
I have a pretty short list, so I'll go. Technically, I played 5 roles because I had a voice role in TC. But obviously, if I had to rank them, Billy, Death, Edwin.
Billy, Death, Edwin.
Yeah, so Edwin will always be my favorite because he's most like me, and he's the only title character I've ever played. Death, first role, just a phenomenal way to come in. And then Billy, maybe a bit underwhelming as a character. I think I did my best with him, and it was a great role to go out on.
Yeah.
Hold on. You can hear the rain a little bit.
Yeah.
I can see the little audio thing.
So Zach, I guess we can probably start to wrap up soon, but Zach, go ahead. Because it's 5 o'clock.
I would, my favorite roles would, in order from third to first, just so I can remember order, would be Ben, and then Peg Leg Matthew, and then Sir Richard the Chicken Hearted. Ben, because, it was just a fun role to be in. And when I saw myself on video for, because I'd only seen TC, Thanksgiving Carol, 2 times. The second time being, last Sunday night. And I looked at myself and, my hair, I don't know what they did to it. But I literally, said, oh my gosh, who's that handsome man? Or, something like that out loud to everyone.
Yeah.
And then it was just a fun role to be in. That was because I enjoyed it because that's when I got to know Edward just a little bit better before Prodigal, along with Caleb. Because that's when we'd send we had a tradition to sit in the green room because none of our characters were on to the second act.
Yeah.
So we would just lay around in the green room, and every now and then we would sit up, look at each other, and mouth Ocean Man to each other.
And that's how the great Ocean Man tradition got started, where after every show in the guys' green room, we would play Ocean Man and sing it with all of our passion, and it's so great. Anyway, Ethan, you have the list ready?
I was going to go through it. Peg Leg Matthew, just because it was a really fun role, and definitely different. I think that's when I wouldn't say peaked as an actor, but definitely...
You felt more comfortable.
I felt more confident, and I actually... Yeah. Because I used to have a big problem with smiling, and I finally kind of overcame that with...
And you should...
with Peg Leg Matthew.
No, you overcame that with Richard.
Yeah, but I got comfortable with being able to stop that.
Yeah.
As for first, with Richard Chickenhead, was where I went through my trials and tribulations through life the most. And I had, great friends to go through it with, and I learned how to not smile too much, because I
It took a lot of work.
It's like a lot of work to get you to stop
no,
smiling on
with
stage.
the nights, side tangent with the nights, like the last week before the show, we went with our assistant director, or co-director, I guess, Amelia Rexford, and she just she tore us down and built us back up.
I had to go outside and find myself during like the
Yeah,
bonus
Zach and Gabe really got the brunt of it.
But yeah,
me and they were just kind of sitting on the side going like...
We basically, like, at one point, like, a week before production week, she watched it and was like, you guys are just caricatures. We're going to change your entire characters by, like, in 2 weeks before our opening night. So that was fun.
Yeah, all right.
Ethan? Now it's Ethan's turn here.
My third favorite would be Mario, the Italian chef. That was just a funny role to play, and he only really started one scene, but I liked that he was in a lot of other scenes in the background.
And a lot of people liked Mario.
They did, yeah.
I remember the audience reception, like Lucian and Mario were the two favorites.
Yeah, I heard that a lot. But it was just fun to be in more than one scene and just kind of be able to go in the background of the ball scene, and just kind of, that was a really, really good play, really good character, I think. Second would be Uncle Max in the Book in the Door. It was just kind of a challenge to play like an older man who like had to like kind of shake when he walked, and like walk with a cane, and this kind of a
we didn't have
it
that bad, but we had to learn. We had a 68-year-old man come and teach me and Zach how to walk like old men. And the secret was really just put a bandage around my right knee, and boom, I walk like an old man.
There you go. And then your first.
My first was Gavin.
Yeah.
Just favorite role, probably my favorite play. Just the whole show was great. I mean, it had its ups and downs, but overall, I think it was a good one to end on. So. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we have reached a 57-minute mark. Whoops.
Wow.
We said 45.
We can edit some of this.
We said 45-minute mark, and he went to 57. Whoops.
Yeah.
Well, I think this one will probably require less editing than the other one.
Yeah.
Oh please.
It's pretty like one topic.
Yeah, I spent just 3 hours on the last one, but that's because I had to sit and listen to the entire thing.
Yeah, we need to check.
And I need to go back and check it as well.
Sound editing, so we can take some of this pressure off Zach.
That's going to be one of my top priorities.
Yeah, me too.
All right, well, this has been the Patriarchy Podcast. Ethan, we can find you on Liberty, whatever. Say the long name.
Catch me on Facebook at Original Great Taste Liberty Memes to fund Saw Gerrera's Anarchist Dreams.
And
my meme page.
And wealthy Nigerians.
And
right?
join my Facebook group. I would sooner believe emails from wealthy Nigerian princes than this story.
Edward is irrelevant because he doesn't have any pages or anything. He's not.
This is my only source of like, not creativity, but the only source of like reaching out. And
Edward is not an influencer.
No.
But maybe when he starts his carpentry work, he can start doing carpentry.
Yeah. If there's any like contractors out there, I'm going through a building program right now. I'll be out in like 2 years, so hire me. All right. Anyways,
and then you're probably listening to this on my YouTube channel, so like.
Yeah.
Comment, subscribe.
Hit that bell.
Hit the bell for the notifications. Smash that like button, as they say. But yeah.
Leave the comments down below.
Because
you don't know where the comments are at this point.
Leave the comments up above.
Up above. I'll change
the comments in your freaking head.
But this has been the Patriarchy Podcast. I just want to say goodbye, and we'll see you guys later.
See you later.
Bye.